in his own language. Ngugi wa Thiong'o started to write his books in Kikuyu. Then he translated it into English. Don't mix things up. Ngugi wa Thiong'o, one of the best African writers, he wrote his poetry in Kikuyu. So let us encourage writings in our languages. David, you're welcome to come and share with us your experience. Please, with a hand of applause as we welcome him to come and share with us his experiences. Okay. I think, you come. Daniel Samson, you're welcome. And also we are going to welcome Victor Lugala. Stars Victor Lugala. Please come and be here in the podium. We're going to start listening to the sharings of how poetry, how you, David Lukang, give us just some few sharings. Adina bat amulat kef inta katabta al-hayadel. Fi wahed min, you share some of it in the back of the book that you said somewhere there, and please go ahead.
Thank you very much, MC. Before I speak to you, let me first give reverence and thanks to my ancestors, women and men who, through their dedication for genetic memory, I am here today. So I give praise to Gangasuk, Ilikisuk, Warasuk, Lukan, Lita. To my mother, Nyoka, Natadayo, Lubang. To my father, Obedelaki Lolita. And to others who are not genetically connected to me, I give praises to Khalil Gibran, Christopher Akigwo, Chinua Achebe, Steve Biko, Robert Mugabe, Winnie Mandela, Thomas Sankara, and to Pitya Luger, Michael Luger, and to Ali Abdulatif, and to Severin of Puli, and to Dr. John Garang. So let me just say that the experience of me expressing myself in the mother tongue, it's a must, because language, as we know it, is a frequency. And everything in this dimension is frequency. So everyone has his own frequency. That's why we have all different languages in our world or in our multiverse. So I started writing this poetry in 2000. First, before 2000, so I also want to give thanks to my uncle Christopher Lucky, who called me in 1996 to come to study in Juba. So when I came to Juba in 1996, so people were calling, because I came from Lanya, and so I came to Juba in 1996. So the people in, the young people in the neighborhood were calling me Lubelede, which means you're a villager. So they make fun of me because I'm speaking in my mother tongue. The thing changed when I went to Khartoum in 1997. So people start to loving me because I speak in my mother tongue. So they say, oh, this gentleman, he comes from Juba, from village, he speaks in mother tongue. So they start to show love. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. So when I was here in my motherland, people hate me because I speak in my mother tongue. Now here in Khartoum, people learn me. So I started writing poetry, and some of them I performed them in some cultural gathering. One of the poems is like Jurla Sekubaba and Ngolitan Kasekumama. These were poems, actually I presented them right there in Khartoum. And so I started writing in 2000, up until 2012. So when I came back after university, I came to Juba. So I did not get someone to edit the book. So I gave to one of our elders, Angelo Lokoyome. And so he told me, no, there are people at the Central Equatoria Minister of Education. So there is Henry Jubek, who's actually transitioned to the other side or to the other world, and Peter Lodo. So I said, okay, I'll look for them and give them the manuscript so that they can edit. So they did the editing in 2019. And so after they finished, so I did not print it straight away. So it came out in December 9th, 2023. So basically, I think it is everyone's responsibility, especially if I wanted to ask you just how, if you want to go to the beginning, how did we get the languages? How come we have many, many languages in the world? Do you have any idea? Say anything from your intuition or whatever. I want to hear from you before I say anything. Anybody want to share?
From mother.
Come on. This is a cultural, don't worry, just say anything. So I give you a chance to say, how did we get the languages from the beginning? Okay. You don't want to talk? All right. So, like I said from the beginning, that language is a frequency. So, essentially, it's not just for you to communicate, but it's also how to interact with the energetic fabric of the universe. Because how did we get languages? Metaphysically speaking, if you go by Walter Russell, he said the sun gave birth to the earth and other planets which are around it. And of course it took time for the earth to reach the stage where we are. They say the earth is 93 million miles away from the sun. And the earth is moving away from the sun by 0.6 inches every year. So, to say we get our languages from the earth itself, through frequency modulation of the earth linked to your blood, and we start to speak. Because it's not like the biblical story that says the gods were angered, they came down and started to destroy the building that they were building in Babylon, wherever, and they start to destroy, and then they confuse the people with different languages. Come on. So if the gods doesn't like us here to reach him or her, so what does the gods want from us? So you got a problem with that kind of story or that kind of narratives. It is not, it's not like that. And we get challenges like here, the British colonialism came and they said we don't have languages, we have dialects and vernacular. Our brothers said itu قاعدين تتكلم روتان ما لغة. Who are you to tell me that I don't have a language when we all receive the language from the same source? So it's all propaganda, and we have fell into it. We start to hate our languages. We don't want to develop our languages. We don't want to speak in our languages, you know. And so particularly we in South Sudan, we fought because we need to be recognized. We want to have our things also recognized. But now here we are here. What are we doing to ourselves? Yeah? We're actually doing worse to ourselves. We are not actually paying attention to what we are fighting for and work, you know, to achieve. So without speaking too much, I think, so this is how I come to write the collection of poetry. It's called Doko Nikan Kare. If you translate, it's actually, how did I come to this title? It was in Khartoum with my late friend, so I gave him the manuscript, so he read it, and he said, you should call the book Doko Nikan Kare, which means we are being carried by the river. I say, okay, that's interesting. And this could actually show about what we are going through as the people of the Sudan, now as the people of South Sudan, you know. And so I'm happy that the Derek Cultural Festival is launching this book, because when I printed it, I showed it to Abraham Malek, he's right here, and he said, well, this is interesting, I'm going to take a copy and then we are going to discuss with our group and to organize how to launch the book. So I'm really very happy that they are able to launch it today, and also I'm very happy for you to come and to listen or to pay with your attention. So thank you very much.
Let's give a round of applause to our brother. Thank you, David Lokang, for your experiences, how you came to write this beautiful book. Thank you, Duma Kauranit. Thank you so much. Also, I wanted to appreciate and also welcome those who are watching on us online, on social media, on YouTube, on Facebook. I want to say thank you for watching, and please let us like the Facebook of Derek Cultural Festival, and all these things are there. And also if you go to YouTube, you will get it there. At this juncture, we want to get a very short lecture from Ustaz from Ustaz Victor Lugala, entitled Importance of Local Languages to Promote Culture. At this time, let us give a round of applause to our Ustaz Victor Lugala, as he's going to give us a short lecture about importance of local language to promote culture. You're welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a lecture, as he said. This is just a chat, because in the beginning he said that we are going to have a cultural evening. So this is like a fireside chat. It's not a lecture. I'm not a lecturer. So David Dakita Ngirolo Mananye I'm just telling him that he writes in a language that I have not studied. I was not privileged to study in the Bari language, but I made an effort through my aunts to learn the alphabets and how to read the Bible in Bari. And that's how I was able to read the book and review it. David Lokan, it's not Lokan the way it is written here. It is Lokan. That is an actual name. He is a Pojulu, and it is Lokan with an N, no G at the end. Doko Nikan ko kare, or as he translated it, our being carried by the river. I don't know which river. It can be metaphorical, the way I'm seeing it, because reading through the book, it is really metaphorical. It's not the actual being carried by the river, because if you are being carried by the river, it depends where you are going. Either you sink or you cling to some straw on an island. This book is a wake-up call to some of us who are very eloquent in foreign languages, not our own languages. And this, as he said, is a collection of free verse poems written in, I should say Pojulu, but rather a mixture of Bari and Pojulu, because he is a Bari and he expresses himself. Some of the things that are here are typically Pojulu. I'm not a Pojulu, but my mother is Pojulu, and I know Pojulu more than my father's language. And I could tell from the text that he uses a lot of Pojulu construction. And I can go back to the Rajaf Language Conference of 1928, which clustered most of our languages, because some of our languages are similar. If you take the Bari cluster, you have the Mundare, the Pojulu, the Kakwa, and so on, and the Kuku. So instead of having different text, because the missionaries brought the Bible, and so they said it's better to cluster these people under one group, that is the dominant Bari. That's why until today, the Bible is written in the Bari language, except for the Kakwa of the one of Congo. They came with a hymn book, which is written in very difficult Kakwa of Congo. You know, there are some Kakwa in Congo and Uganda and South Sudan. And Lucan seems to express himself in his native language. And I thought that maybe he was, in a way, trying to break free from the 1928 in Rajaf Language Conference, so that he can express himself better in his mother tongue, if you may. These poems are sentimental, nostalgic, and mostly autobiographical. Oh, this language. He even has an ode to Khartoum, the pinnacle of his rural-urban odyssey. This is no easy feat. And I can dare you people here that there are very few of you who can write a letter in their mother tongue. I wish I could speak other languages. What I'm saying is, can you now here write a letter to your mother in the village in your mother tongue? She's shaking her head. That is our dilemma now. And I'm glad that Lucan has come up with this book to challenge us. This means that we are actually illiterate in our languages, and we don't make an effort to learn to read and write in our languages. We should really make an effort. Wherever you come from, try to make an effort. If you want languages, if you want to save our languages from extinction. He talked of Ngugi wa Thiong'o, the Kenyan novelist. When he published his voluminous novel, in Kikuyu, that is the Murogi Wakagogo, or translated as Wizard of the Crow. He gave it to a Kikuyu professor to review it. And unfortunately, she was not able to finish the book because he said it was in an archaic Kikuyu language. So you can see, here is a professor who is supposed to know languages or her own mother tongue, but is defeated. So who is or who was Ngugi writing for? Lokan, that is a question for you. Who are you writing for? Ngugi calls himself a language warrior. After his detention in 1977 by the Kenyatta government, Kenyatta number one, the father of this other Kenyatta, he gave up writing in English. It was more or less like a protest to write in his native Kikuyu language. However, the trouble he goes through is that he has to translate he has to translate the books he had written in Kikuyu into English. And I think this is double work. Professor Taban was supposed to be here, was he not? Yeah. Yeah, he one time told me that the late Ugandan poet Okot Bitek, he wrote an epic poem called The Song of Lawina. Most Africans have read this epic poem. He said it was first written in Acholi language as where Palawino. If they are actually here or Luo speakers, they will understand what I'm talking about. Where Palawino, Song of Lawino. And the same poet translated it into English, which became Song of Lawina, and it is a very, very popular book in East Africa and in the whole of Africa. Recently, it was translated into Luganda and Swahili. I'm not sure, but Luganda, yes, I know. But Taban, because they grew up in the same town in Gulu, although Okot was a bit ahead of him, and he read the original book in Acholi. By the way, Professor Taban is very fluent in Acholi, so he felt that the English version that Okot translated was done in a hurry. So he decided also to give it a different version, which became In Defense of Lawino. It is written in neat English, but it is a bit slower in tempo, if you like, and I would prefer Song of Lawino. If Professor was here, I would have said the same thing. Yeah, but if you read In the Defense of Lawino, you will appreciate the language. Ngugi asserts that writing in English or other foreign languages is a form of cultural alienation. It means that when you write in English, you alienate yourself from your own languages or from your own background. But this is a story for another day. The Bengali poet Rabindranath Tagore eulogized mother tongue as a true vehicle of self-expression. Tagore even said somewhere that a good writer must know his or her mother tongue. You know, there are certain things that you express in your own mother tongue before you venture into the second language, because English for us is second or even third language. So when we think, which language do we think in? Do we think in Balanda before we write a poem? Do we think in Dinka before we write a poem or before you write something? I had this debate with my wife about the language of dream. When you dream in which language? I told her, and I will still tell you, that I really don't know which language I speak in a dream. There is no soundtrack in my dreams. I know I communicate, but I've never known which language that is. I don't know whether there are people who dream like me. Do you dream like me, or you dream in your own language? You speak in Dinka, you speak in Arabic, you speak in, I don't know which language. I don't know. But me, when I dream, I don't hear any sound. Because I'm sleeping and it is quiet, so why should I really be hearing sounds? But I understand the communication going on between me and the other people. Or if I'm being chased by a lion, if I'm crying, I don't hear myself. But I know I'm being chased. The early missionaries promoted the use of local languages to preserve our cultural heritage. To promote literacy in major local languages, the Ministry of Education established what was then known as the Publication Bureau. I don't know whether you people heard anything about Publication Bureau, especially those who are doing education. I think they might have come across it, and especially those people who are in the ministry. Maybe Her Excellency or Her Honorable Minister here might know some background to what I'm talking about, the Publication Bureau, but it is now a skeleton or it has been moved somewhere. I don't know whether those machines are still really there, because they were there, I think, maybe in the 50s, 60s, I don't know. And this was a government printer which produced school textbooks and even school magazines. Some of these publications could be found now in an archive that the Rift Valley Institute, through people like Professor John Ryle and others, have been digitizing, because hard copies have been eaten by termites due to poor storage. In the urban areas of South Sudan, we seem to have a big problem in our hands. If you consider this drama or situation, I have a cousin sister who has adopted a little girl of about 8, 9 years. When she was brought from the village, she used to be very eloquent in the language. And I used to listen to her because her language was very sweet. 2 years now, she speaks in Arabic. When I go to visit them, and she doesn't speak to me in the language anymore. Even if I force her, she wouldn't. Why? Because now she considers herself a town girl, a Juba girl. This is exactly what he was saying, that somebody was being called Lubelede. Yeah, Lubelede, which means you are a villager. A villager who doesn't know anything. Somebody who is not polished. And that is the fallacy that some people have sunk themselves into. Actually, this is where we are being carried now by the river. The creation of neighborhoods such as Malakia Kabir, this same Malakia here, were projects to advance cultural imperialism. From World War I, World War II, the residents of Malakia, who are from all corners of South Sudan, were falsely made to think that Arabic was thick, and therefore people who communicated in their language or their languages were regarded as primitive or backward or what is the word? Lubelede. You know, to paraphrase David Lucan's book title, the people who are carried away in the river. These are the people who forgot their languages and adapted another language. Actually, the Arabic that they speak is not even the Arabic that we know in Khartoum there. This is adulterated, you know, Arabic that is neither here nor there. Okay? So, but they feel good in it. Now, these are the people who are being carried away by the river, and they are struggling to recover their identity. Some of them are beginning to understand that going back to the roots is where they belong. And some programs that are on radio, like some of these entertainment programs, like in Bari, like the one of, what is that guy's name, the one on Saturday? DJ Lubelede, he's actually called Wani. He asks people, what do you call this in your language? What do you call this in your mother tongue? Maybe what do you call a microphone? We don't have microphones in our villages. So he tries to encourage people to go back to the roots to understand how they can love their languages. Some of our indigenous languages are already endangered and risk extinction in the not too distant future, unfortunately. And this is the reality. Because if you cannot write a letter to your mother or grandmother in your local or in your language, then that is the beginning of extinction of our languages. I stand to be corrected. We need to go back to the drawing board and breathe life into our local languages through writings like this one of Lucan, through songs, through drama. The reason Pojulu Cultural Festival was a major success, I think he went there to dance. And I wish the book was launched there, because I heard that people came from America, from Australia, from East Africa to converge on the that is the Pojulu Square in Rock City. And I could see children were dancing and old people were dancing, and people were expressing themselves in the context of their languages, or in this case, Pojulu. And somebody, before I came here, luckily enough, a cousin of mine, Motenyayo, sent me a clip, a video clip from the US, and they were dancing in Pojulu. And I could see small girls dancing, wearing skirts, and the women were dancing with the lofrega, the men were dancing with the sticks. And there were brooms, these brooms you get in Konyo Konyo here. So they were transported from here all the way to the US for that particular purpose, which is good, by the way. You have to preserve not only language, but artifacts, so that people don't say later, oh, Kawajat took away our things. We are the one transporting them to our people there to preserve, so that the children know that when you're cooking pirinda, it is done with, or if you're doing whatever mola, you have to use the lofrega. You don't have to use other things, so that you have a taste. So the Pojulu Cultural Festival, I should say, should be emulated by other groups, and should be done in a place like an open space, really. Our dances in the villages are not done in buildings, in the house. You are arresting culture. Culture should be free. People should be, just like here now. We're just in the open, and I'm told he comes from a clan of rainmakers. That's why we don't have rain today. Yeah, so that people, you dance in the open. As Okot said, you dance in the open so that people see whether you have scars on your belly or you have scars on your legs. The open arena is where people express themselves. So the Pojulu Cultural Festival, you carry this message to the organizers that it should be encouraged. It should be an annual event so that it can encourage the growth and sustainability of local cultures. I must say that our local languages are a boost to our cultural diversity. We come from different groups, and when we come together, everybody speaks, not the Babylonian type. Everybody speaks, you're proud of your language. When you enter into a bus where there are Nigerians, you think they speak in English? If they're in England, they'll speak in the Yoruba or Igbo or Hausa. For us, we want to speak in Arabic. where everybody is listening to you, you know. And I must come to the conclusion that the written word that we are coming to launch today is something that lasts for a long time. You who are in the fountain of knowledge here know this, that something that is written, it doesn't rot. And as I had said before, that those ones that are eaten by termites are now being digitized. That's why we have online literature and so forth. David Lucan, the boy from Bereka in Lanya County there, he comes from a humble background, and he had to sell bags of cassava flour to pay his school fees to reach this far. He's challenging us. Are we ready for the challenge? Are we ready for the challenge? Start writing for your mother, to your mothers in your mother tongue. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Longaser Ligang, Victor Lugala, Dajoga Gwala Gokolia Kone, Thank you so much for your comments and also for your insights about how cultures are made and how cultures are preserved. One of the scholars says that language is a custodian of any culture. So, my brother here, you have been part of keeping our language. At this time, I wanted to also recognize the presence of Dr. Justin Billy, the Dean of School of Art, Music and Drama in the University of Juba. You are welcome in our midst. And also I want to recognize our brother Sam Lukudu. He's a producer, he's a filmmaker, and he is, I think he's everything. You're welcome in our midst. In this juncture, I wanted to give you some information about why Professor is not around here, Professor Loliong. He just sent us information that he lost his sister. That's why he's not here. But he's going to write a book review about the poem. He promised that he's going to write it, and it will be published, and people will be able to read it and will get it. At this time, also, we want to go and also see some comments and some insights about how this culture, how this language, how these things are made and how these things are done. We are going to give this moment to Ustaz Daniel Samson Aro, PhD candidate, and he's also a scholar in writings about language and indigenous cultures. Let's give this time and this chance to Ustaz Daniel Samson Aro to give us some insights and also share something about this event.
Thank you, Mr. MC, and thank you for everybody. As he said, I'm Daniel Samson Aru. I'm a researcher in indigenous languages, if I put it that way. So they call it local languages, as my brother put it. Sometimes they call it national languages, and also linguistically they call it indigenous languages. So this is the name used to be. Even this, the one of David, the poems, to the linguistical part, it's supposed to be the Bari indigenous language, a poem written in Bari indigenous language. So the question will be why we are putting it in indigenous languages. Because it is already mentioned, as my brother also stated, starting from 1928, Rajaf Language Conference. At that time it was One Sudan. And the question will be from you here, why for the language conference at that time? This is a historical background. There are 3 reasons for that conference, I remember, as a researcher of these indigenous languages. Number 1, the colonial time, they have a problem of, during the courts, problem of translation. If some of the indigenous people, they have some court cases, so they need translators. And the translators in indigenous languages, sometimes they are not fair in translating the correct things. And number 2, the missionaries also at that time, it was very important for the word of God through the Catholic Church and other denominations. So they feel that it's very important for the indigenous people of that place to understand their language, so for them to know the biblical teaching. And thirdly also, it will help in the administration of the areas under the colonial administration. So this is like teaching the local people to understand and then to communicate in case of revenue, taxes, and so forth. So from this small background, in that conference, they decided to do what's so-called orthography. Orthography means the alphabets. So you can see now, it's not like other international languages, not like Japanese language, it's not like Chinese language, not like Indian language, because those languages, they have their own symbols. But for our indigenous languages, if you see here also, this Doko Nikan or kare, if I pronounce it well, so these are English alphabets. And the English alphabets were developed into this, at least to be pronounced. Oh, that one is D in English. But when you pronounce it in Bari, if I'm not mistaken, it's O. So this is the historical background. Coming to the current situation. The current situation now in our country, and I'm sorry to say this, indigenous languages, allow me to call it indigenous languages. They are taught only in the level of the lower primary and even up to primary 4. So it's an opportunity to thank the UNESCO and the Summer Institute of Linguistics, they call it SIL, in collaboration with the national and the state ministries of education. Good enough, our honorable minister is here. She can also elaborate more. So the challenge of these indigenous languages now, they are only taught in the lower primary level. When I say lower primary level, it ends just only up to P4. But you cannot find it in P5 up to P8. You cannot find it in the secondary level. In our university here, University of Juba or the 5 national universities, there is no any department or there is no any faculty specialized in the national languages. Good enough, Mr. Alfred Gassim here with us. He's the director of Center for Languages and Translation. But if I ask him, I don't want to ask him directly, but I'm just as rehearsal questions. Is there any activities for indigenous languages of South Sudan in the center? I'm not sure. The answer is yes, for sure, because of so many challenges. Coming to the future, as a researcher in the indigenous languages in this country, we are the new generation starting researching about our indigenous languages. So there are so many challenges. Now, for David, you did something very good. But now if I did the statistics among the present people now here, I can find only 2 or 3% they can speak and listen to. But I did not say read and write, if you can say. Yeah? They can speak Bari and they can listen to Bari. But if I ask someone to read, we may find 2 or 3 people, even within the Bari community. My brother put it right. He just learned the alphabets and then completed the education of the language through his aunt. Now he's able to read the Bible and he's able to read this. But how many like him? That's a question. Let me conclude by saying, and I said it before in Derrick Festival, this one. Previously, during the liberation, during SPLM, SPLA in Sudan, there was a problem of our identity. Late Dr. Jongarang is saying, what is our identity as Sudanese, not South Sudanese? So there was a challenge of identity. Now, when we come here to our country, South Sudan, I'm the one who brought these things. I'm challenging myself. Also, we have language identity. In South Sudan, we have language identity. To answer this, how? If somebody may raise this question, why do we have a language identity? So for the English-speaking countries, there are some evaluation, there are some categories, like the best African countries speak English language. If you categorize it, you will not find South Sudan among the 10s. You understand what do you mean by speaking the language, which means that you can use it in different levels, not only in education system or medium of instructions in schools or universities. Likewise, also the Arabic world, they have their own evaluation on how some other non-Arab countries speak Arabic language. Also, South Sudan, we are in the list of the people who speak fluent Arabic. If somebody go to Saudi Arabia or any Arab countries, it will be having, he or she will be having a challenge of understanding well the Arabic language in that country. Coming to our indigenous languages, as he stated very well, even me personally, I cannot write a letter to my mother with my indigenous language because I don't know. You even, I'm sorry to say this, there was a lady also was shaking the head. She doesn't know how to write the letter to her mother. I said this is my conclusion by saying that we have a challenge of language identity in our country. The question will be, what is the solution? I will not answer it. All of us, we should answer it together. The solution started from David Lukang. Now we start composing a poetry in a Bari language or in a Bari indigenous languages. Before I give him the chance, at least viewers need to understand, if somebody asks, what is a Bari language? Who are the Bari people? I have a little knowledge. They know better than me because they are from the Bari community. So the Bari, they are a group of Bari speakers. They speak the same language. Yes, now he is not a Bari, but he's a Bari language speaker. Like he stated, he's from Pojulu. You cannot understand the division of the Bari, but if I put it in places or in towns, it will be very easy for you. The Bari speakers, I think they can correct me later. There are 7, to my understanding. From 8, you can add later. This to my knowledge, to my best knowledge. So starting from Terekeka, there is a town called Terekeka, and the people of Terekeka are Mondari. So the Mondari, these are the one of the Bari speakers. Moving ahead from Terekeka, there is a Rokon. There is a place, a town called Rokon. And those people in Rokon, they call them Nyangbara. So the Nyangbara are the Bari speakers. Going to Lanya, Loka, these places of Lanya and Loka, where our guests of today belong. This is the Pojulu people. So these are the Bari speakers. You move ahead to Yei. I think in Yei there, you find the Kakwa, if I'm not mistaken. So these are the Bari speakers. You move to Keji, bordering Uganda. So these are the Kuku. Also these are the Bari speaking, including the Bari, where they're in Juba here, plus also Lulubo, if I'm not mistaken. You can correct me later. So these are the 7 indigenous tribes. They speak the same language with a slight differences. But majority of them understand. If a Bari speaks, a Fojulu can understand, a Kakwa can understand, a Mondari can understand. But a Bari, if a Mondari speaks, like I know very little, let me try also to, they can correct me later. So if I want to say, why the child did not bring the food? This is in English. In Bari they say, Ali yang inongoro ako jo kinyo kulatinyo. So this is the Bari. And when you come to Mondari, they pronounce it different, but the same language. It's the same language, but you can see the utterance, the producing of the words now. So for the Bari speakers, they will not understand. They will not understand. But the Bari people, when they speak, the Mondari understand. Thank you very much. I hope there is a good time.
Let's give a round of applause to Stars Daniel Aro for his insightful comments. And this is what we want. We want to have the cultures to interact. He got some phrases in Bari. He tried very well. And this is very nice. And we are so appreciating for this moment. So my brother, Nade Jambo Adi, Kelisi Kunok, Kelisi Nagot Nake. Do Jambo Gora, Kelit number 6, Do Adi Rome Ko, Do Adi Rome Ko Bipiet. Rome kobibiet. Rome kobibiet nan Roman kodo akonin ilot palika. Iringit na bukodu kata. Aringit koti bukodi koyoni. Aringit bukodu kata. Aringit koti bukodu koyoni. This time we're going to give to David Lukang to give us some readings about these hymns. And let us listen to the beauty of Bari prose and Bari poetry as we follow together with him. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause to him.
Thank you very much, Alphonse, for your statement. So, how many should I read? Okay, 2. Good. So, Doko Nikan kare, and I have a poem inside called Jambeko kare, which means speak to the river. And this poem I composed in 2008. I was in a hostel in Bari. So at the evening I walked to the Magnimir Bridge on the Blue Nile in Khartoum. So I just sat there and meditating, listening to the water flowing underneath. So I started to go to the past, imagining how our ancestors were living. On our land, we used to call it Kush. And then down north, we used to call it Kemet. Now the Greeks call it Egypt. So I started to think how the civilization started. Some people say on the Happy Valley. Happy is the name of our ancestors in the ancient call it Happy, the Nile. We used to call it Happy, not Nile, because Nile even is a very strange name, because if you remove the E at the end, it's Nil, which means empty. The French said Le Nil, which means empty. Arabic also means Nil. But we didn't call that, we call it Happy Ichiru. So I was meditating about the past, how our ancestors were there, and this Nile continued to flow and everything flourished and civilization was there. We started to build pyramids. And we did not call them pyramids, we used to call them mere kut. It is the Greek who came to say they are called pyramids. And actually it's very ironic because pyramid means pancake. So it is very interesting. So our Nile is the cradle of civilization, and we wrote on the stones. Up to today, if you go to Egypt, we can still read what our ancestors have written there. We just need to learn the language so that we can understand what our ancestors were up to. So this is called Jambeko kare. Also, you have to understand that the earth is 70% water, and you yourself, your body is 70% water. And what is water? Water is memory. So you be careful how you speak to yourself, because your body remembers. The memory is not just in your mind, but also in your body. So this is called Jambeko kare. Jambeko kare itokot chang kogon lepeng inga. Lepeng keti nyonyoba. Ilonde lepeng ko dikari do tene donga do tene wora atitunti logon rima kanyit gon pape. Pokino jin tikingajin alikin ama lepeng tene muke kweng lepeng tene muke kokolya sikana. Meranya jin wara inakak sona lepengat keti kelekinje lepeng sona. Ay melukati kondi sona. Anya kwarat kang mo kebig go ke logo na ngai ko nyuritan. Jame to in. Jame lo bulu. Jambi ku kare, jambi ku nye ko gon le pengi inga anyobi nyoba. Ngutu ling tine ying tene tokor tojulin nekang ko kare. Atora ko pata atolien tomorgi yi apele geleng anan kulani ko ngutuling adi jambi ko kare ito ko tiang ko gon lepeng inga lepeng wadu ko kongon awadi ko nyarju sidakini ikijit yukan mugi ko nyen kulug adi gbin ngaji ko nyen kulug tilukata logon medja ngona gon tenemeta ko ngutuling logon medja ko konyen sobon Pije lepeng anyede pije do nyobi lepeng anyede nyobi do keti lepeng totoko liki kiri logon taja jamlo akwe kinji do iulun je ko teili ilot ko kwe ino nagon gonga kodo atanya kode apolo ko kulyasi logon lepeng jamakin do nan mo yudo adi rugi koji ko gon kare tene muluga go songutu kogon lepeng tene ko koroja kogon lepeng wuju ngoli ko taling bagrerenya alepengat urje atene donga jambi ko kare kodo alokong kogon kurunje kokongon uge bosokare logon ajore uge madam uge taling. So this is jambi ko kare. It's don't worry about the semantics, but more of the vibration that you get. I like to listen to the West African musicians, Salif Keita, Youssou N'Dour from Senegal, Salif Keita from Mali, and Baba Mal from Senegal. Baba Mal sings in Fulani, Youssou N'Dour in Wolof. And so I enjoy them because music is very, the semantic doesn't count because it's the rhythm and everything. Even though Hassan Tourabe used to insult us that, yeah, so language, you forget about the semantic, but the vibration. Let me go to the second one. This one is, I composed this one in 2012 for my friend. She was getting married. And the title is called Pony. So this is about love. Someone's getting married and I, sort of a moment of surrender to each other and establishment of new family and things like that, and I speak about beauty and and the journey and everything. So just listen to this one. Pony nan tinja mugo na doket ko gon nan na dokare do idinged na luponje na ne naka ko bied nu nan kati wo kenja mugun tunuk ikanin ko waletan tinyarju Pony ngoling be a jojo kuro a jerata oresi a jetiki timerenye jin tiakanye jin tiwaso jin kamulak ti mananye jin a jeyakaki kiro da ore namun na mugo kinje Pony tinan ko do tutunga jina jelu nagon yi aberon solo jelo nagon bakutet madi nagon kapukan titwandelo toraja pero kan ama inu dingit correct yi apele geleng ko ngupi Pony tikelan ino etymology medenikan tinyegwe agbelengat ling tinan o inye memedinye amomojinye madi kudop ainyona diri kelan inon memeta kanugi kiding kanug imujin koy dapan kanug timok Pony anyen yiwore ko taleng kayang irudesi.
Let's give a good round of applause to David Lekang for his beautiful poetry and how he read it. At this time, we're going to get into interactions with our audience. I want to give this chance to whoever wanted to ask or say a comment, or if you wanted to to give you insight about, you might not understand what he has just read, but I don't know how you're going to do that. I'm going to give a chance to anyone who wanted to share. You can raise your hand somewhere there, then you can come in the front. And I have a mic here. Anyone wanted to share, to comment? I am not seeing. Okay, can you come in front? Yes.
First of all, I want to thank the presence of you here. And secondly, I'm very happy today to hear some poems in Bari language. The one is very good one. It's expressed in Bari language. The feelings of the poems are very beautiful. I want to say congratulations, Mr. David. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Please come say your name. When you come here, you say your name.
My name is Joseph Basan. I'm just working with Juba University in the College of Art, Music and Drama. Thanks.
Thank you, Joseph. Come in the front. If it's a question, you have to make sure you make it clear.
Thank you very much. My name is Paul Garang Marco Apuki. I think I have to speak also using the same mother tongues. Though some of you will be surprised how Garang is speaking the same language. In a road ring, Najamba Tinata Ilo, you would gain or Nangana book. Nan Aliangan Parik, Obon, Nan Hamamara ni Lele, Logan Kauru nit, Longana Kotok Nika Nago ni Jambunya. Nan Kojua Kendang na Kotok. Mini primary 1, ladi primary 4, was on a gun Tajambina. Ladi song and another then I can down no urge. Lakin Muskila logo Nigeria song and analo book and kuna get ban. Moke Nigeria okay burgos or kune na godeka jamakone. So Najamba de Nina Geleng Nago Katana Timo Kanigo Yala Kamango Kule Kata was also slowly. He commanded in a kick Kule logo boy, logo urge, Potokna, and then Bukule then, and then Bubulobona Kaura Kule Dumalak, eating in a popo. Duten Najamba de Tapan Potokna in a gajore, in a Potopligan link, Namo to Buker, Logondika, Kenang in Dika. Lakin Ekelo Yumukure do. Kule kelo etika koka ngina kutuk na Bari ngina baya kutuk na Mondari. Kule ade ngina kutuk na Pojulu baya ni na Mondari. Lakin ake gananya kede ngina kutuk ni kangne. Koda uri jo kutuk la Mondari, do uri jo kutuk la Kuku ngina kutuk ni kangne. So tina teinot muburuk yo me jo ade impero kule Lonyo na ngini de kaman popo ni hanya ni kaman ko celebrate nene book kaman. Syukran.
Shukran akuna Garang. Tarjama basita huwa biguli inu itu ma tastaghrabu le isim bitaw Garang wa huwa bikalam bilugha bta'at Bari. Huwa qal zaman kan Gara min asas min sana ula la hadi sana raba bilugha bta'at Bari. وهو زاد واحد من الناس بيحب لغة الباري وهو من الناس اللي بيشجع إنه الناس تتعارف في لغات زيدين. وكمان هو أشاد بمجهودات أخونا ديفيد لوكان إنه ديفيد لوكان كتب كتاب اللي بيثبت الأشعار الموجود في لغة الباري إنه ممكن الناس يستمروا يقروا ويستمروا يستمتعوا بالشعر اللي هو باللغة المحلية. وهو كمان في أخيرا هو قال إنه خلي الناس يعني يستمر يكتبوا بلغتهم المحلية حتى اللغات دي يكون موجود وحي في وسط الناس. Thank you so much. Tinate longasar lekan Garang. Dari dari jambu gura. Adi ngina lugane kang nabari eronde bongini. Adi ko jambu ling, ko da Garang, ko da maker, ko do nga nikang di eronde jambu kutu geleng. Thank you so much. I want to give this chance again to anyone with some insights. If you have a question, I'm not seeing you. What هناك؟ بسرعة كده ورينا اسمك.
اوكي السلام عليكم. دي محاولة جيدة جدا من الأستاذ لوكان في إنه يحاول يوثق للثقافة بتاعت جنوب السودان. أنا اسمي عليو أكون، أنا ممثل وكاتب مسرحي. هي الجلسة غيمة جدا، وأنا عارف إنه الدعوة وصل لمجموعة بتاعت ناس من مختلف الاتجاهات، والموضوع الأساسي في إنه الناس كانت تقعد عشان على الأقل يعني تطلع بحاجة من المادة الرئيسية زي الكلمات بتاعت الشعر اللي كانت القوى هنا. فأنا ما أعرف الناس مثلا فهمت شنو أو الناس قدرت تكونكت كيف مع المسألة، لأنه الشعر مهم جدا بالنسبة لنا نفهم إنه شنو اللي اتقال فيه، لأنه اللغات المحلية بتاعنا ما مجرد لغة بس. أنا بقول بعض المرات إنه لغاتنا هنا كجنوبيين تحديدا، أنا بقول اللغة هي عبارة عن روح، يعني بيستقل الزول. ده فهم بتاعي للغة كده. عشان كده أنا كنت داير أسأل إنه قدر شنو الشاعر يعني قدر يستخدم هذه اللغة في إنه يستخدم التوصيفات، يستخدم الأسرار بتاعت اللغة، يستخدم العمق حق القبيلة ذاته نفسه في إنه يطلعوا في الكلمات بتاعه ده. لأنه لينا مثلا في مجتمع بتاعنا في الدنكا، لو قلت مثلا أنا عليو مثلا ران مات أو عليو جنة، يقولوا عليو جمهور كده هو جنة. طيب لما نقول عليو إنه صراع مع زول تاني، بيناقش مع زول تاني في مشكلة معين، بعدها يقولوا لفلان عليك كده وقف عليه ده في حده، خليه الموضوع ده. قلت له كلام ده، بقول انا كلمت مع ليو واسي عليه جمول سم شو عليه جمول، يعني عليه خلى الموضوع ده. فالمعاني بيختلف في حالات معينه، فدي الاسرار جوا اللغه. انا ما بعرف الشاعر قدر ينجح كيف انه كان ترانسميت المسائل اللي زي دي. وشكرا لكل ذو الحضور وانا مشكور.
شكرا استاذ عليو. He's asking about the parts in the language of Bari, about idioms and speech, figure of speech, how the writer has been able to successfully to portray figure of speech, idioms in Bari language. I'm going to give him later, they will be able to explain. But before that, because our time is going, I'm going to give very special 2 minutes to Dr. Justin Billy, يجي يقول لنا كلام. وبعدك ادي ريزولت ثاني، بعدك I will give this chance to دكتور جاسم بيلي. هو عميد الكلية بتاع الموسيقى والدراما في جامعة جوبا هنا.
Thank you so much. I was so happy listening to the words of Bari language. Okay, but I have a question. In Africa, it's very difficult to take the relics out of music, because we have the poetries, we have the words, but within our indigenous way of doing things, we have it all the time with music. So taking it out, okay, and with this revolution in Africa of decolonization, how that can work. And I really support the idea as the way of writing, the way of keeping our memories, our philosophy of describing things, developing the image, but how that can work out. Because taking the music out, I think it's one of the fundamental things that took the life of our relics or the words. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Justice Billy, for your insights. He's asking about the rhyme within the lines of the language, how you construct your poetry. Thank you for your insight. I will give you also again, you will answer this. This time also I want to give it to Ustaz Gabriel Arnes. Come and say something in 1 minute. He's the dean. He's the head of department in music and drama.
Okay, I greet you all in the name of Lord Jesus Christ in this very special evening that we are here to celebrate the launching of the book of Doko Nikan Kare. Janate David Lokang. Janate Kungun. I was enjoying the rhythm of the language. I don't understand some few words or whatever in the language, but I was enjoying the rhythm because I'm a singer, I'm a musician by professional. I was just enjoying the rhythm of Bari language. The language has many dimensions. One of them is the rhythm pattern in the language. So I was just enjoying the rhythm pattern of the Bari language. Thank you. Lukang is one of my friends. I am here to give him support and to congratulate him and to congratulate our group. Thank you, Lukang.
Thank you, Ustaz. Okay. Tell us your name.
I'm called Marlene Peter. I have a question. I'm Barinik, but by name. We all grown up in Khartoum, and it was really difficult for us. We just hear maybe our elders talking, and only on official days, like in maybe Bari occasion or something like that. So we did not learn how to speak and even how to write and all that. And this is a big problem, and it is still continuing up to now. So we are lost actually. So David, now you have started with this initiative. What is next? What are you going to advise maybe the generation now? And what can you do to us maybe to catch up? Maybe for you, you get an auntie, you get a grandma maybe at home, but sometimes it's really difficult. So thank you so much. I really enjoy. I hear some words, not all. And I wish if I hear also, I will enjoy. I will be able to translate to who was near me. Thank you.
Thank you for your honest question. David, now I'm going to give this chance to the podium. They will be able to address in less than 2 minutes all these issues, all these questions. Then we'll come back. Our time is going very fast. So David, I will give you first. You can make some comments.
All right, thank you very much. I think I'll just start with my sister here, Kia Serniu. I think the government, there was Education Act 2012 says that all children should be taught in mother tongue from primary 1 to 3. And there used to be also at the Bari Center, those Peter Lado and others, they were teaching people there. So I think it's not, there's still time. You can still learn the language. You can go there, you register and learn the language if you're serious. And it's commitment, Like I said, this is what says you're Bari, because you pronounce and spell in Bari, So because when you speak someone's language, and other language actually have low frequencies, and it affects you. You might not actually understand, but it affects you in certain ways. So we need to learn our languages and speak it, because what do you do when you speak? You're casting spells you spell the language, you spell the word. You know, and what do you mean by spell? So you literally casting spells on the universe or to the people you're speaking to. So which spells are you using? Is it your own spells or someone else? So my sister, you have to do something. I know it is a problem with the Bari people, like the Pujurukuku and the Nyangwara. In the urban center, in our houses, you don't speak the languages, you know. But the Dinkas, even if they are in Australia, in UK, their children speak Dinka. And that's the thing we should learn from them. In 1997, when I was in Khartoum, in St. Peter and Paul, the Dinka, they have their classes in Dinka language, teaching their children in Dinka language. I was like, this is interesting. So, for us, we need to work hard. We need to catch up. You know, we have voluntarily, you know, abandoned our languages because simply people say these are dialects or rotans, and then we believe them, and we don't pay attention. So Dr. Bina was talking about separating the music from the language, lyrics from the language, from the music. Okay, I don't know how to say, but I think not all the time, you know, we speak and our speech is accompanied by drum or music. Yes, there are certain occasions where you have to speak and the repetition of the beats at the background. But I think it's not like I'm separating. I'm saying the music is out from the lyrics. Yeah, so I'm not separating anything, but it's a way of how we can. What I plan is just to make sure the language exists. I express it myself in the language, regardless if there's a music in the background or not. So my brother was talking about, you know, Gabriel. I'm commenting on the gentleman who talked about the tune, where the same phrase might mean different thing on certain tune, you know. Aliu, yes. So that's interesting. It's also the same. Our languages are actually tonal languages. So, like for us, when you say Miri Losodanaloki, and then I say Victor Logara Amiri. The same writing, but the sound is different. It means different. So you can say Miri government, Miri expert, or someone who's talented, you know. So yes, it depends on how the word, same word, different meaning. Yeah. So like when I say pony, at the end I say pony. When I say pony, that's the name. Pony come. You know, you come. Yeah. So the same spelling, but the sound must be different for you to know the meaning. So it is so sad that we, in our own institutions, we don't have a department for our own languages. At the University of Juba, there's nothing. You know. Instead, we have French, we have English, we have Chinese, we have Arabic, we have God. So, if we cannot teach our own things, are we going to live in China? Are we going to live in Germany? Or we are living here? So, why is it that we believe that if you speak someone's language, then your future is bright? Let's get out of this mental slavery. Oh. We need to seek the truth. so that the truth can set us free, you know. Not that because you are enslaved, but enslaved by your own thinking, you know, how you think. So it is not just the government, but it is us, because we are the government. So we have to make sure that we develop our languages, we work hard, you know, to do that. Like look at in Ethiopia, you can go and study from primary up to the university level in Oromo language, even though they have Amharic as their official language. Tigrinya also, you know. So we need to do something. We cannot, you know, blame others or whatever, but we have to do something about it. So, and you know, when we sit together and have conversation like this, and you know, exchange ideas, things can change. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And this time also, I'm going to give it to David, to Victor Lugala. You can say some comment in a minute.
In a minute, I just want to respond to Gereng. Kunekaranga nukunanga. Donge lokata? Iya Gereng. Dodi kadi donye dokata kupuse na kendia kuputung na Bari. Ama bugulen bain. Let me say this. He was saying that he has an appetite for reading books in his mother tongue or in Bari, but the books are not there. The books have disappeared. There used to be books like Ladoko Baya, Ngineki, Lamila, I don't know. Those are primers, and I saw them as I was saying. My aunts used to teach me that language, but those books have disappeared. And since I've been asking around, kine bukan kunia, ngineki, lamela, and so on and so forth. Kine bukan kukata Gereng kede tuakingo to anyen bubula tetena adudu katia age jore. If those books are there are some veteran teachers who may be having those books hidden somewhere. If they have them, they join and then we can reproduce them. Because that is the only way we can preserve our languages. Because if we cannot write letters, it means it will be very difficult for us, leave alone writing in our mother tongues, which are difficult. We don't have children books in South Sudan. We are writing for adults, people who have problems. We're not writing for children. So we need to start writing for children. David Lukan, iti kaman solo jejo jumbo wurjo wurekinda ngaji mutulog jo jumbo kutum na Bari, so that you have primers for people who are beginning to learn, like this young lady who said she anya barenit, and that is the end of the story. She cannot go beyond that. I'm saying you sit near your grandmother, love her, and let her talk to you in Bari, and then don't respond to her in Arabic, respond to her in Bari, and then listen to go to Bari church. Yes, go to Bari church and listen. That's what I used to do. If you want to learn a language, you must pay the ear. You must give the listening ear so that you can learn, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause to our brother Victor Lugala for his insight. Also, I want to give a minute to Daniel Laro. You can also say something or comment.
Thank you very much. I would like just to start with the lady who stood here. She's honest. Thank you very much. But I'm here to give you the answer, as my brother stated also. Still, you have chance to learn your indigenous language. In different schools, St. Peter and St. Vincent de Paul in Gumbo, they are teaching from primary 1 to primary 4. If you go to Rajaf, up to All Saints in Rajaf, there's a primary school attached with the Catholic Church. It's called All Saints. They're also teaching from primary 1 to primary 4. Tokiman, if you go to Luri area, all these are the educational areas teaching Bari language. Number 2, the BC here, as my brother stated, there are lessons for Bari language. There is also, because it seems like you're a graduate, in the university there is something called self-learning. I think you can borrow a book, like my brother also, he did self-learning here, and then assisted by some other people. What is very important, if you can accept my advice, starting, if you are a Roman Catholic, starting from next Sunday, if you attend Bari Mass, I think it will help you a lot to understand the Bari language. So this is my advice to my sister and to everybody sitting here from different ethnic groups. All these groups, through my research, I discover all these indigenous groups from Upper Nile, from Equatoria, from Barghazal, they are studying these indigenous languages. For example, the Shuluk community in the church, in the JCC, they have classes for Shuluk language. The Jiang, generally, or the Dinka, they have different classes also. In the churches also, you'll find classes. The Nuer community also, they have classes. If you go to Juba Market, there are some small bookshops. You will find these indigenous languages are just put on tables like this. You can pick one, go to someone who has knowledge, start learning the alphabets, start learning. There is a chance. It is not too late for you to understand. It is a chance for you at least to remember from today onward that you need to learn your indigenous language. Not just like listening and speaking, but reading and writing. You have to add these two skills. It's very important. We have an attitude that when you speak with your own mother tongue, you speak with your indigenous language, you are lubelede, as it was mentioned. But try to take this attitude or that behavior out. Speak your language with your children, with your families, and then for sure you will develop this language. It was stated in our constitution, the current constitution, that these national and indigenous languages must be developed. But the problem, nobody is taking care of this. Good enough, my brother David mentioned Henry Jobek. I met him, late Henry Jobek Ustaz. He's an acolyte in the Catholic Church, and he is the director of indigenous languages, Central Equatoria. Good enough, Honorable Minister is here. She can also give us more. He was the director for the indigenous languages. He was in charge of developing this Bari language, and he's the one also helped this David to edit this book. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause to Ustaz Daniel Aro for his insights. And once more time also we want to give special thanks to our speakers. It started with Ustaz Victor Lugala. We are so happy for you to be in our midst today. Thank you so much for your insights and for what you have contributed for today. Let's give him a hand of applause. Again, also, I want to give special thanks to our writer, my friend, Doko Nikan Kare. I want to say thank you so much, David Lukang, for bringing up these things to be put in the light. So our people, our children will be able to have a book like a poem to read. Let us give him a hand of applause. And also our brother, the journalist, Abraham Malek. Malek. Yeah, we also want to give him a hand of applause as he's recording in that place. Once more time, all of us, let's give them a clap, a big clap as they're going back to their places. And we are going to go to the next phase of our program as we are about to conclude. Thank you so much. Thank you, David Lugala. Victor Lugala, thank you, David Lukang. Thank you, Daniel Aro. I want also to appreciate our viewers, those who are watching us online, Facebook, those who are watching through also YouTube. I want to appreciate you. This juncture, I wanted to give chance and also a word of thanks to Zakaria Deng. We want to invite you to come in front. He's one of the sponsors of this event. Let us give a hand of applause to Zakaria Deng as he's coming to give us.
Good evening. My name is Deng Zakaria, not Zakaria Deng. People are confusing us all the time. Ana gabalus bayan kutamashi fi munasaba. Baadaye nika munasaba itana tahalna فقلت لهم وين المناسبة ده هنا؟ ايه يا حبشي ماشي وين؟ قلت لهم حبشي. الناس بعد مرات بيلخبطوا كده. انا ما عايز اقول كلام كتير لانه الزمن مشى، لكن عايز اقول انه ما في حضاره والشعب بيتقدم ما لم يكون فيه كتاب وفلاسفه ومثقفين. واي الحضارات كل الموجوده اللي تحت لانه في تحميش للمثقفين. منذ الاستقلال بتاعنا في 2011 لحد هسه انه في فراق ثقافي عشان نلقى البرنامج زي اصلا لو كان ده برنامج حاجه ثانيه كان بتلقى المحل كله مليان وناس لابسين احمر وكذا. لكن لانه البرنامج ثقافي دائما المثقفين هم اللي بيهتموا به، فعايز اقول لكل واحد موجود هنا مبروك وعايز اقول شكرا كثير برضه لاخونا ديفيد. المجتمع بتاعنا مجتمع متنوع. انت لما تدرس وتشوف الثقافه بتاع باريا وحتى ما بعد الثقافات الثانيه حاجات كثيره متشابهه. على سبيل المثال هنا مثلا المويه الدنكه بيقولوا بيو، يقولوا نفس الباري سبيكر ده بيو، واللغه بيقولوا بيبي مجموعه ده هو نفس الاسم. ده الدلاله انه الجماعه دي مجموعه واحده. وفي نفس الوقت كمان في حاجات بطال موجوده في قبائلنا المختلف اكتسبناه من برا او جاء. فده دور بتاع المثقفين نحاربه. على سبيل المثال نحن في الدنكا الزول القريب ما بيقولوا جو، حتى لو انت دنكاوي مشيت وانت قاعد في ليج ستيت بيقولوا لك اني جو. نفس الموجود عندنا في القبائل الباري جورن اللي هو نفس الكلمه ما في فرق. دي المشكله. وحتى في اسماء الدوله قبائل ثانيه ده ما اساميهم. يعني مثلا في قبيله بالشرق الاستوائيه في قبيله بيقولوا بيري، الناس بيقولوا لوكورو سموه لوكورو. ده نوع من الاستهجان اللي هو دجاجه، ده ما اساميهم. لو قلت لهم لوكورو بيزعل بيقولوا لنا بيري. حتى الدنكا ما دنكا مونجان اللي هو جانج اللي هو ناس. وفي قبيله بيقولوا قبيله كريش، قبيله ده بعيد جدا. الناس الغرباء بيقولوا جوكو معناه جراد، يزول تعال بعيد دي جراد. وفي اسماء بتاع قبائل ثانيين ده ما اساميهم زي بلاندا ده بونغو يا سمام انه سكان التلال عندهم مجموعه من الزاند، لكن لما جو قالوا بارلاندا بعد فتره بقى بلاندا. شفت كيف؟ وقبيله بيقولوا اندوكو ده ما اساميهم انه ده زاند يا سمام ده الخوافين. فانت بتشوف انه في مشاكل عندنا، والمشاكل ده وفي حاجات كويس ما بيقدر بيسهر الا يكون في دور بتاع المثقفين عشان يوجه انه ده مسا وده كويس، وتقتسم من قبيله ثاني وتجيبه للقبيله بتاعتك وتوديه للشعب، وكده البلد بقدر شنو؟ بقدر بيتطور. شفت كيف؟ عشان ما يجينا واحد ثاني. انا مثلا يجيني واحد ثاني انا دنكاو من قوم مشاكل، وفي واحد باري اولو كوكوي يقول لي عندي مشكله. انا ما عندي مشكله شنو؟ ما انا عندي بقر وانت عندك بفره. نفس البقر بتاعتي ده اللي بشوفوا انه ده الوسيله بينه وبين ربي. الزول البفره بتاعته ده مهم لانه ورش البفره ده بياكله بالكيمور في دقيق وفي كومبو مش وين. عرفت كيف؟ فالدور بتاع المثقفين المجتمع في المجتمع مهم جدا. شوف كيف؟ فعايز اقول مبروك الخطوه انت بدات بها ده، ويا ريت كمان الاخوه الثانيين عارفين اللغه بتاع باري واللغه بتاع انجليزي او اللغه بتاع زاندي ترجموه ودوا، واللغه بتاع الدنكا برضه يترجموه، واللغه بتاع الشلوك يقوموا يترجموه. كده نقدر نعرف بعدنا اكثر، ولما نعرف بعدنا اكثر بيكون في وعي، والوعي ده بخلي انه الجهلاء لا ما بيقدروا يلعبوا، لان اوريدي بيكون كل زول شنو عنده وعي اكثر. وعايز اقول شكرا، ما اقدر اقول كلام كثير. اخيرا عايز اشكر الكاتب. انا طبعا نيابه شركه زاك انا بهتم بالثقافه والنشر بتاع الكتب، وعايز اقول اننا اتفاق مع مركز درك اي واحد عنده كتاب عايز ينشره يقابل ناس مركز درك يشوف الموضوع الكتاب بيقوم يجينا واحنا بنقدر ندعم لانه في النهايه انه نشعر انه جزء هنا جزء لا جزء منه. أريك عندنا gift لازم نديه ل you want to say something?
Maybe. Yeah, awesome. I'm really thankful for the opportunity to present this award today. You know, I just arrived to Juba 4 months ago from Canada, so while everybody's talking about their native tongues or speaking Arabic, you know, I'm at the opposite spectrum where I don't speak any, you know, just English mostly. So it was very enlightening to be here today, just to be able to understand other people's communities and the importance of preserving linguistics and culture and heritage and history. Also, my father has always been a fan of education. He's always been a fan of preserving our culture and our heritage and things like that. And so being able to be here at the University of Juba in conjunction with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, like it's very fulfilling time to be here. So I'm really thankful to be around the Bari people. You know, my mom's Fujilu, so Panda. Trying my best, you know. It's an enlightening experience, and you know, preserving the culture and language is paramount, and maintaining the vitality of the Bari language, especially for future generations, is at the utmost importance. You know, David, thank you so much for writing these books for your community, for your people, and hopefully to inspire others to also follow in the same path and make their communities proud as well. We present you with yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause to Ustaz Deng Zakaria. He's the Managing Director of ZAC Media. So at this time, we are coming to conclusion of our program. I wanted to give this chance to one of the members of Derrick Cultural Festival. He's going to give 1 minute, you can say 1 minute word. Then he's going to welcome the Honorable Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport in Central Equatorial State.
Okay, thank you, Alphonse. Good evening, everybody. We are really pleased to see you around, and then we've been doing this Derrick Cultural Festival for last 3 years, as we missed and we lost our mentor and teacher and friend, the late Derrick Alfred. Time has already gone. I want to make a very, very little bit a comment. We had a conversation this morning with David Lucan. It was very, very funny to interview a colleague. We joined Radio Mirai together on 24th May 2012. By then he was working in one of the, let's say Bakhita, and then I was running Arabic daily newspapers, including Al Nasir, 9 July, Tisa Julio, and the rest. So I was saying, look, even the mistake that we behind of it was done by the designer, because I know it's called, people have been calling him Lokang, but it's Lokang. So that's the mistake. We apologize for that. Our brother Lugala, he was challenging everybody in this evening, and he was saying, a few of you can write a letter to a mother, to a mom, back home in villages. But I would say, like he mentioned, we don't have in Bari or in Fajulu or in Dinka or where, we don't have the name of Mike. How do you call this Mike that I'm holding? So my answer is, in Dinka, we call it Ijagrol.
That's the meaning, not the...
No, that's the name. That we give the name, and then this is how languages develop. Actually, you borrow from different language. This is how, and then the TV we call it Onatip. You see, like you are live on TV, but you are not. You're from Atip. You see, so this is how languages develop. You borrow from the others, and then you develop this. So, Lugala, I started Dinka language when I was in Hajusuf. And if can I say, I would like Hajusuf doing well. Yeah, including David Nikan. I was in Hajusuf Marabatisa primary school, Kamboni, and they taught me in the evening classes Tongmonjang, Tongjeng, by people from Barkazal, from northern Barkazal, especially Awil. So I learned up to primary 3. Now, but I cannot write, but I can read. I can read Bible. I can sing all these Bible songs or Christian songs, that's Catholic songs in Dinka. So I went to school, Lugala, while I'm speaking Arabic and some mistake in English. You can see. So, like you mentioned that I'm stand to be corrected. So this is my correction to you. Yeah. Lastly, before I welcome the guests, the dictator to become Samson Aru, and Samson Aru is already challenging everybody that we have to get this happening. If it's included in our constitutions. So why are we not doing this? Why are we not plan and do it well? It was announced last year or 2 years ago that if you're in Juba, like my kids, like my girls' kids, they should learn by the language where I am working. They will not learn Tongmonjang because I'm from Warab. They will not be there. I will be voting for the governor of Central Equatoria as well, because I'm in city, right? I'm in Juba, and Bari speakers that we have already mentioned. Samson was saying 6, but he was corrected that there are 8. So, if this introduced to our national languages to be taught in primary school, why are we not doing this? The rhythm that mentioned by my friend Jibril Arnas is actually composed a lot of shared or poems in classic Arabic that we cannot speak, like you mentioned, Lugala, and in Juba Arabic. And he has a book I think is not printed in Juba Arabic, which is composed of borrowing from Bari language and all this. He can tell. I was just about to stop him to just read a little bit from his Juba Arabic poems. Thank you for being around. Lastly, when I called Honorable Rita Dominic, the minister, I just said, I'm Abraham from Bari Cultural Festival. I didn't mention that I was from Bari. We organized a talk show to come and support this launching of Doko Nikan kare. I'm not well in Kutung Nabari. Yeah. So she's with the humble and kind response. She said, I'm here for supporting the culture and all this stuff. So Zach and Motif, Sultan, Vehicle Service, and the rest of our partners, we are very happy to see you around. So let me welcome Honorable Rita Dominic to say a word.
في البداية أنا داير أرحب بكل الموجودين بقول لكم مساء الخير. أنا داير أقول لديفيد لو كان تناتي كونينا ورجينوت بجد دي أو حاجات أنا دايرينه عشان كيف نحافظ على الثقافات بتاعنا، نحافظ على اللغات بتاعنا المحلية. أول حاجة شاعر ده قال إنه دوكو نيكان كوكاري. Indeed يا دوكو كوكاري. حقيقة إنه خلاص رفعونا ببحر. لو ما لحقنا الما بعرف بعوم خلاص بنمشي البحر أو اسم شنو البحر بمعنى البحر الأساسا. يا دوكو كوكاري لأنه لأسباب. الأسباب ده يعني إن نسينا اللغات بتاعنا المحلية وممارسة بتاع اللغات المحلية، لأنه بيجينا بنمارس اللغات الأجنبية البونس إنجليزي والبونس عربي. نسينا إنه عندنا لغة الأم عشان كيف نمارس لغات بتاعنا المحلية. وكمان تأثير بتاع علماء والتقدم وفيسبوك وما أعرف شنو. لو في تعليق باللغة بعربي يا بإنجليزي بروتان ماف. لو إنت دارت ونس بروتان ده يعني شوية وصعب. ده من ضمن الحاجات اللي سيبوا إنه فعلا يجد أبو كاري. حاجة تانية أنا دار أقول إنه عشان كيف إنه نحافظ على اللغات المحلية والثقافات بتاعنا كجنوب السودان. أول حاجة عندنا مراكز أو عندنا في زمن إنه في تدريس في مدارس بتاع أساس من أولى لحد سنة رابعة باللغات المحلية. كلامنا نفذوه أنا ما أعرف لحد 200 لكن حسي يعني في مدارس معينة يوجد نفس كلامنا. في مدارس معينة يوجد نفس كلامنا. وده حاجة في دستور إنه اللغات المحلية يجب تدريسها في المدارس بتاع أساس. أنا بقول إنه من ضمن الحاجات اللي إنه عشان نقدر نحافظ على الثقافات بتاعنا والثقافة بتبدأ باللغة، إنه لازم تدريس يرجعوه في محل بتاعه، ما يكون من أولى لحد سنة رابعة، يكون يعني في برايمري وفي سكندري وفي جامعة كمان يكون في ديبارتمنت في بتاع اللغات ده يكون فوقه من ضمن فوق اللغات بتاعنا المحلية. حاجة تانية أنا داير أقول إنه كمان عشان كيف نحافظ على اللغات بتاعنا المحلية، أنا شايف إنه ده من ضمن الحاجات اللي حسي improve ونسى بتاعنا باللغات بتاعنا المحلية. عندنا فرق شعبية وفرق صوت شعبية. أنا من ضمن الناس اتولدنا في خرطوم، اتربينا في خرطوم، لكن عسي أنا ممكن بقرأ كتابه صعب لكن ممكن في حاجات أنا أقدر كنديها. ده أنا لقيته وين؟ أنا لقيته في جامعة جوبا هنا، لأن أنا خريجة بتاع جامعة جوبا كلية التربية قسم بتاع بيولوجي عن كيمستري. ده كان من ضمن حاجات اللي لقيناه هنا في الفرق الشعبية وفي الاتحادات لقيناه كلام ده هنا. يعني انضمينا لفرق وبقينا الرقصات الغنى والرقصات يهو تعلمنا العربي الروتان البسيط اللي بقى فيه ده لقيناه من خلال الحاجات ده. فأنا بنكرج إنه الفرق الشعبية ده خلينا نشجعوا أكتر وأكتر وندعموا أكتر وأكتر عشان كيف ده جزء من ضمن حاجات اللي إنه كمان بنقدر نحافظ على اللغات بتاعنا المحلية. وكمان عندنا المهرجانات الثقافية. زي قبل مثال جابوا إنه فجلوا عملوا cultural day بتاعهم. ده حاجة كويس إنه لأنه من ضمن أهداف بتاع cultural day عشان كيف نحافظ على اللغات بتاعنا المحلية، لأنه عيال بتاعنا فعلا ببقى جليين هم نوجروا. جانا كانت رسالته قالته جاكنا نبيهم يقول لك عايتا قالي شنو؟ فهو صعب. عشان كده يا هو من ضمن حاجات إننا بنحاول إنه نعمل مهرجانات ثقافية وفجلوا نفس كلامنا. وإن شاء الله وأنا بتمنى إنه يكون كل سنة يتعمل مهرجان ثقافي عشان كيف نعرض فوقه الرقصات الشعبية والروتان بتاعنا والأكلات بتاعنا ذاته، لأنه أساسا في أكلات تانية كرة ودرو بركبوا كيف ذاته في يال الحسي الجيال الجاي ورانا دوما ما بعرف ركبوا. حاجة تانية كمان أنا بشجع كمان إنه ناس باري عندهم يوم جوبك داي. جوبك داي ده كمان هم مينتين كلام بتاع جوبك داي عشان كيف يحافظوا على اللغات المحلية والثقافات بتاعنا. أنا كمان بنكرج كل القبائل بتاع جنوب السودان عشان كيف يكون في مهرجانات ثقافية ويكون في أيامات ثقافية على مدار السنة عشان كيف نحافظ على الثقافات بتاعنا بتاع جنوب السودان عشان كده موجود. حاجة ثالث أنا داير أقول إنه من خلال الكتابة من خلال الكتابة. في حاجات العادات والتقاليد في تاني ندير نسيتو خلاص. حاجات العادات والتقاليد داير خليه يسجلوا تحت عشان في يوم من الايام في زول تاني حتى لو بقى داير نازر ودرو حاجات بيكون مكتوب. بالذات عندنا الاجيال بتاعنا الكبار ديل عندهم حاجات عادات وتقاليد وحاجات بتاع بلد، حاجات بتاع كاري. في ناس بتاع مويو وفي ناس بتاع واتا، في ناس بتاع شنو، حاجات دي كلهم عملوا كيف. في أجيال الحاصل أنا كان سألت أنا ذاتي أنا ما بعرف حاجات دي، لكن فسو الإلدرز بتاعنا لسه موجودين نحاول نمشي لهم عشان كيف نسجل العادات والتقاليد اللي بعملوا ده، لأنه إحنا كجنوبيين إحنا خلينا عادات وتقاليد بتاعنا. مثال بسيط في تسمية بتاع جنة، يعني جنة كان بيسموه لأن في باري ده نعمر رايك عنهم ده سبو أو سمايا. في ناس ثانيين أنا ما ضد كنيسة، لكن في ناس ثانيين قالوا كلام ده كده سيفو خلاص ناس بقى ناس كنيسة. ده حاجات بقى قديم. زي كلام يقول لك قال تلو بلدي. ففي حاجات أنا داير كده نسيبه كنيسة، أنا ما عندنا مشكلة في كنيسة، لكن العادات والتقاليد بتاعنا أنا لازم نحافظ عليه وعشان كيف نرسخه ونورثه للأجيال الجايين قدامنا، لأنه ورثوا لنا فسو كده ما خلصوا في الزمن بتاعنا. حاجة تانية داير نرجع كمان لكلام بتاع التسمية. كلام بتاع التسمية. قبل أخوي ده قال اسمه زكريا منو؟ زكريا دين قال لا ما زكريا دين زكريا. ده أول كلام ده. كلام بتاع التسمية ده مهم. أسمع من اسم بتاعي ما في زول بيعرف أنا يا قبيلة. لأنه زمان هنا في السودان في شمال هناك ده اسم بتاع بلد ده ما بقى فيها في تسمية. ما بقى فيها في تسمية. فعشان كده أنا بنشط إنه اسم في تسمية بتاعنا عشان الاسم عشان يكون في الشهادة الرسمية لازم اسم بتاع بلد يكون أول. كريستيان نيم ده كده جاء سكون. ده مهم شديد لأنه أسماء بتاعنا برا ودرو. نشكلنا ده مفروض أنا بجد مبسوط قبل ببويم بتاع بوني لأنه أنا بوني. يعني بجد أنا خطيت إنه كانوا ده شعر كاتبينه لي أنا. فهو كان بجد وكان جميل عشان كده أنا دار أقول إنه التسمية ده مهم. كلام بتاع التسمية ده مهم شديد إنه نحاول نرسخ أسماء بتاعنا ده يكون أول. كريستيان نيم ده كده جي سكون يكون نمرة 2 عشان في أسماء تاني نقرأ ودو ويال تاني ذاته في سيستم ناس ما عارفين تسمية ده بيسموه كيف. شكل تاني في باري ده التسمية ده بيكون بترتيب ما بيسموه ساكن. بكريا اسم تو منو سكون منو تيرد منو يعني حاجات ده كله بترتيب. فحاجات زي أنا دار أساعد إنه قاعدين نحاول إنه نغير الثقافة ما بطل. التقدم العولمة والتقدم ده كله ما بطل، لكن العولمة ده لو ما بدا من ستر هناك القاين قالت له بلدنا التقدم ده كله كان ما عمل نفسه. فسو نحن نواكب العولمة ونواكب التقدم، لكن ما ننسى العادات والتقاليد بتاعنا، ما ننسى محل احنا جايين من فوقه وين. في النهاية أنا دار أقول إنه بجد ده مناسبة جميل. وقبل في كلام جابوا إنه كلام بتاع education. أنا بجد دار أقول إنه أنا هحاول أمشي أقعد مع كوليج بتاع minister بتاع education عشان نرفع ميمو في council of ministers عشان كيف تدريس بتاع لغة. أنا ما أعرف لباقي ولايات، لكن أنا بتونس عن ولاية بتاعين لغة بتاع باري ده خليه يدرسوا في مدارس بتاع أساس ومدارس بتاع السينيا. ومهم شديد عشان كيف أي حاجة ثقافة ده كله بيبدأ بلغة. إنت لو ما بتعرف لغة ما بتعرف أي حاجة. تسمية ده تزار ما بتعرفه. جانا كان جيت على أوبرا شنو ياقا عملوا وكان إيري ذاته شنو ياقا عملوا حاجات ده كله إحنا بنكون ما بنعرفه. ففي النهاية أنا دار نشكركم لوجود بتاعكم ولتشجيعكم للشعر بتاع ديفيد لوكان ديفيد لوكان. أنا دار أقول لكم شكرا جزيلا لكم وتناتي الله سو بارك.
شكرا محمد وليد تمني قبل ما تمشي من المنصة هننادي مدير بتاع مهرجان درك الثقافي زول بيشتغل في الخفرة ما قدر صار ديفيد لوكو وبرضه ديفيد لوكان عشان هيتوقع زي ما اتفقنا ينقل حتصير نسخة زي 10 نسخ ده محدودة وزي ما سمعنا مدين زكريا هنطبع نسخ ثانية لأنه دي كان مطبوعة من جروب بتاعه. Yes, he print this by his own. So as we have an agreement that we can print more and books to come, we are glad to say, David, if you are around, I think he's doing some little bit interview. Honorable Minister Ritis, he will take 10, and then the rest they can come and take. One copy is 35,000. You can come and take yours and only, yes. Yes, you can come and take yours, and the rest you will provide a lot of copies at the Bari Cultural Festival. So, David, if you're around, David Luku and David Lukan, yes, you can come. Come in, Honorable, you can sit here. Yes, you can sit here. These are your copies. 7. These are your 10 copies. You will sign for your copies by your name, and then the rest are here. So, David Lukan, David Luku, you can come. You can come.